I wanted to make sure that I took my time with this video. I didn't want to just hastily jump into a LiAngelo Ball video the moment he went off in his Summer League debut, which, don't get me wrong, I thought was extremely impressive and very nice to see. But after seeing a pretty nice sample size of LiAngelo Ball, I find that I am finally in a situation where I can make content on LiAngelo Ball. So before we get to the content, I just want to remind you guys, I'm giving away multiple copies of NBA 2K22. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter and Instagram for a chance to enter for a copy of NBA 2K22 on any console of your choice. If you could also take a minute to leave a like on this video, that always is greatly appreciated. And if you want daily NBA news and rumors to your device, well, subscribe and turn on our notifications. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Guys, if you are struggling with paying off credit card debt, or if you happen to have any student loans left over, it can be so difficult to pay them off successfully. Thankfully, I am sponsored by a company named Upstart that is here just to help you with that. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or just funding personal expenses, Upstart has your back. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to take a loan for another loan and they're just going to give you whatever money that you want. Upstart actually has a system where they calculate what kind of loan that you qualify for, taking your income and current employment into consideration. They run a 5-minute check online so you can see what your rate up front is for loans between $1,000 and $50,000. You can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. And if you want to find out further how you can start using Upstart to lower your monthly payments, just go to upstart.com/Mike. That's upstart.com/Mike and let them know that I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined obviously by your credit, your income, and certain other information provided on your application. Go to upstart.com/Mike.
Jello Robin with SI.com here, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks, guys.
First, can you explain what this has been like for you, this journey? Last year, before the pandemic hit, you trying to do the G League thing, then you couldn't do it because of the pandemic. You got hurt in Detroit. What's it been like for you to try to fight your way back to the NBA right now?
It just feels good being here, knowing I got people behind me and they want to see me succeed. Like, the coaches is reacting to me different here. It's just a good environment all around. The players play hard. Like, the energy is great. So that rubs off on me. So I just try to play my hardest when I go on the court.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to be doing a video on LiAngelo Ball and whether or not we can actually buy into the hype. Because as much as I really like what I'm seeing from LiAngelo Ball so far, unfortunately, it's not really something that's new to his game. So what do I mean by this? In order to really paint a really vivid picture of LiAngelo Ball as a player, I'm going to be citing Brian Kalbrowski's article on Hoops Hype in regards to his evolution as a basketball player. Going into high school, LiAngelo Ball was seen as a remarkable scorer, but a player that was a little bit of a tweener in regards to body type. He's 6'5" like most guards would be, yet he is 230 pounds like most forwards would be. So this weight distribution made his fit in a modern NBA fairly awkward to say the least. But throughout his entire career, LiAngelo Ball's greatest strength was his ability to hit knockdown jump shots. I mean, he is by far one of the most effective catch and shoot players that I've ever seen play basketball. But even going back to his time at AAU, according to Kalbrowski, he averaged 1.05 points per possession on his jump shot, which ranked in the 82nd percentile amongst competitors on the Adidas Gauntlet. So if that's the case, you might be looking at me and saying, okay, Mike, well, if he's only good at shooting the basketball and he has a very awkward build, well, the reason that he isn't making it into the NBA as easily as Lonzo and LaMelo were making it into the NBA is because he's not an efficient scorer. But to be honest, That isn't the case either. The issue with LiAngelo Ball isn't necessarily how efficient he was as a scorer, rather it was his ability to be more than just a player that can catch and shoot. When we go back to the sample size that was provided via the Adidas Gauntlet when he was in high school, out of 37 jump shots, only 2 attempts came off of the dribble, and approximately 95% of his jump shots were catch and shoot opportunities. And herein really lies the problem for LiAngelo Ball. Throughout his entire career from high school and moving forward, he has more or less been the same type of player. When he played in Lithuania during the 2017 to 2018 season, after leaving UCLA, he averaged very similar numbers, 1.09 points per possession on his jump shot, which still ranked in the 83rd percentile amongst international players and was good enough to be top 20 in the Lithuanian league amongst players that had a similar amount of attempts. He did improve in his ability to create for himself, as 26% of his jump shots came off the dribble as opposed to just straight catch and shoot opportunities. But still, this is a marginal improvement at best. So knowing all of this information, where does LiAngelo Ball stand after his first 3 games in the Summer League? Well, first and foremost, I want to say that LiAngelo Ball got into significantly better shape than he was in last year during his time with the Detroit Pistons. If you look at his build last year when he was with the Pistons, he looked significantly heavier. I'd like to say that he lost about 15 to 20 pounds at the very least, which is a good sign for a player that, in my opinion, was always deemed to be overweight for his position. But if you want to compare his numbers in Summer League, according to Cal Broski, he is averaging 1.58 points per possession on his jump shot, which ranks in 98th percentile in the entire Summer League. But unfortunately, the same issues are there. Once again, LiAngelo Ball is barely scoring off the dribble at all. An abysmal 12.5% of his jumpers have come off of the dribble, and practically the only ways that he is scoring is off of jump shots, and that's about it. He's not even scoring off of cuts to the basket. He's definitely not scoring off of one-on-one in isolation. Most of his scoring is coming as a result of standstill catch and shoot opportunities, and to be honest, most of them aren't really complicated. It's not like he's coming off of screens and catching and shooting. It's more or less very basic catch and shooting. But there were instances where he has come off of ball screens and successfully was able to knock down jump shots, like this play against the Portland Trail Blazers. So as much as I'm rooting for LiAngelo Ball, because I don't want to be perceived as a LiAngelo Ball hater, I'm very, very empathetic towards his story, and I want the man to make it. But with everything that I just laid out for you, there is one question that we have to ask, and that's, what can LiAngelo Ball provide a NBA team right now should he sign with an NBA team? Well, I really don't like to say this because I don't want to come off as a guy that is hating on the man. I really believe in his dream and I want him to succeed, but just speaking objectively, as if I'm analyzing a player that I didn't really like, my issue with LiAngelo Ball is, apart from being able to just score off of catch and shoot jump shots, there isn't much else there. And the problem with this is, he is a bit of a defensive liability in addition to those catch and shoot jump shots. Most players in the NBA can at least provide the catching and shooting that you would need, but typically it is combined with something else. Usually the term we hear a lot in the NBA is a 3-and-D player, a player that can hit 3-point jump shots to space out the floor, that can contribute to modern 5-out offenses, but is an average to above average defender at the very best. Players like Avery Bradley that are currently in the negatives in DPPM, but they're still over -1. Players like Trevor Ariza, that isn't really the player that he once was, but can still shoot 3-pointers and provide average defense if necessary. When you look at LiAngelo Ball, the only thing he can do is hit catch and shoot jump shots, and until he adds other parts to his game, like his brothers have been able to, then he's going to consistently remain at the same point. When you look at players like Lonzo Ball, he is lauded for his ability to not only make tremendous plays and for his remarkable basketball IQ and the way he sees the basketball court, but his ability to push in transition, his ability to make spot-up three-pointers, his ability to create for teammates, and his defensive versatility. He's also known for his ability to hustle, and he has been able to develop tremendously in the NBA. When you look at his brother LaMelo Ball, he possesses a very similar skill set, perhaps even better than Lonzo. He has the ability to score, create plays for his teammates, and hit outside jump shots, and be able to take his defenders to the basket. He makes his teammates around him better and is a truly underrated defender. As a matter of fact, I don't think we discussed LaMelo Ball's defensive ability enough, to be frank, because in his rookie season alone, despite not having the most NBA-ready body, this is a player that had a 0.6 defensive box plus minus. So unfortunately, we haven't really seen much of a difference in LiAngelo Ball's game. I don't necessarily think it's too late for him. I don't think what I told you is going to result in the Hornets not signing him to at least be at the end of the Charlotte Hornets bench, but to be honest, in my opinion, I don't think he is a NBA caliber player to even come off as the 12th man or like the end of the bench type player. But since LaMelo Ball is the Charlotte Hornets franchise cornerstone, and the Charlotte Hornets will probably try to do whatever it takes to keep him happy, there is a chance that LiAngelo Ball signs with the Hornets for that reason and that reason alone. But to be honest, I don't think he is an NBA caliber player, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I want him to be successful. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about LiAngelo Ball. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.